Okay, guys, so we're gonna do another quick one before lunch. Thank you all so much for these subscribers, new subscribers, likes. Whenever we cover content from Canadian content creators, you guys seem to like that. I think the story in Canada is being told a little bit better now with so many Canadians going on YouTube and sharing the story. So if you like this type of content, feel free to like and subscribe. I love Don Butler's Angry Mortgage podcast. Learned a lot about real estate mortgages from him, and he's an older guy. So in Canada, if you're an older person, you better have a head on a swivel because young people are not too happy with older generations right now. But I think Don or Ron, I think it's Don Butler, Ron Butler, Mr. Butler, he's telling it to us straight, and he's acknowledging the fact that young Canadians are having a real difficult time. And I think he's going to do that in this video. Literally just did another video on the collapsing birth rate in Canada explained by another Canadian content creator. Make sure you check that out. We're going to look at why Mr. Butler's title is No More Kids. So we are definitely on the right narrative here. Let me get past this good old ad from Disney.
All right. So what effect is prices are down, sure, in parts of Canada, Ontario, British Columbia, a little bit down in Calgary, house prices are down. But what effect does the incredible, still high price of homes in Canada? It's still way batshit crazy, okay? Like it really is. When you start to compare to other jurisdictions, but anyway, just talk about what effect does it have on family formation, on people having a family, coming together, having kids, having a family, the thing that is really what
Life's all about.
Society is supposed to do, right? So I'm not going to say that it's just the fact that the price of houses is all over $1 million in many big cities in Canada. I'm not going to say it's the fact that we don't build anything today and haven't been for 10 years. We haven't built anything in quantity that's the right size. Maybe Calgary, maybe Edmonton, but still many other cities, not the right size for families. Like way too many dog crate condos, way too many tiny places. And they're tiny, okay? Like some of these places these units are just too small and too expensive. And unaffordability, wages have not kept up with the way prices of everything that the consumers need, whether it's food, insurance, cars, you name it. Every single thing that an ordinary family needs has gone up radically in prices, and wages have not kept pace. So, but the worst.
Just on that note, I don't know if you guys remember, and maybe I don't know if I'm like well aided out of this, but Big Macs used to cost $1. And if you guys remember the days when Big Macs used to cost $1, it was like fast food restaurants were just like trying to grow your kids. I remember getting McDonald's every Friday, and a Happy Meal I think at the time was like maybe $3.99 or $4.99, something like that. You get a drink, a little burger, and fries. And like, I was a growing boy, and eventually I would need 2 Happy Meals, and then eventually I got the adult meals, and I was getting 2 adult meals. Like I was just eating more and more like a fiend. Like a garbage disposal. That's what my dad would say. He says, you're a walking garbage disposal. But I remember back in that day, and it was like we could get excited for going out to eat McDonald's and restaurants and stuff like that because we can get good food and for cheap. Now I can't even I don't even consider McDonald's or any of these fast food restaurants as there's a couple that I literally rely on because I have deals going on all the time. You just get a couple burgers, feed yourself. But the place like McDonald's, the same thing you would be trying to get back in the day, maybe 20 years ago, is like quite literally 3 or 4 times the price now. So, it's very, very understandable that even at something as basic as food is discouraging, people from having kids just because it's so expensive. Like, can the government truly expect Canadians to start dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars on down payments, tens of thousands of dollars on food just out of nowhere just to start having kids? Like, you got to pay attention, guys.
First thing is buying a house, because that used to be so easy to do. I'll get back to that in a second, but Hey, I also don't think it's just that. I don't think that the fact that there's so many fewer people forming families, so many fewer people having kids, such a lower number of kids. I don't think it's just that. I'm not just blaming ridiculously expensive houses and everybody being exposed to tiny situations when they first start out on their own. Like you start on your own, you think I'm gonna raise a family in this little dinky condo or this terrible, you know what I'm saying? It's bad. So, but what would it take to change that? So, let's say that there was a 1,700 square foot townhouse with a little backyard, but still, it's your own. Could be your own place. 1,700 square feet, 2-story condominium, garage, a little bit of grass in the back. It's like not extravagant at all, that you could have like a normal starting family life in. Okay. And let's not even talk about it being in the heart of the city. That's silly. Let's talk about suburbs, like it's in Surrey or Burlington, or it's in Scarborough or Richmond or, Poco or, wherever. It's like, it's in a suburb. It's not the heart of the city. It's not the exclusive area. What if that 1,700 square foot decent townhouse was 475,000? What if it was? Now, first of all, everybody's saying, "You've lost your mind, fat boy. It's we don't have the hot tub time machine here. Like, we can't go back in time. That doesn't exist." The crazy part is that idea of that decent sized townhouse for $450,000 is what it was like in 1985. 1985 was 40 years ago. It wasn't the Bronze Age. It wasn't the last century. It wasn't. It was a while ago, but it wasn't, because you could buy a single family home in 1985 for 3.5 to 4 times family income. And today, that would mean you could buy, if we just use the same math, okay, family income in 1985 to family income in 2025, and say, okay, how much house could you buy? You could buy that house. It wasn't even a townhouse. You could buy a single detached house in 1985 for 3.5 to 4 times family income in all the suburbs of Toronto, in all the outlying regions of Vancouver, in all the, like, again, not in the most prestigious areas, of course, but not right in the heart of the city, perhaps, but outside the city, in the suburbs, you could absolutely buy that house for 3.5 to 4 times income every single time. It's every single city. If we applied that same model today on $128,000 family income, this is reasonable. That's a proper number. $450,000 townhouse. Okay. Like, please, 480, like, yeah, like, people could do that. People could do that in their 20s today if that was the price. It's not the price. It's nothing like the price. The price is like $950 $1 million, okay? But $850, something like, it's enormously more than 450 or 480 or anything under 5. It's enormously more, and it's double, and that makes it unaffordable. Like, not comfortably affordable, not affordable so you can live a life and start a family. So we don't have that. Now, can you do it? Could we get back to some kind of rational prices? Because prices are falling. I think the bottom line is no, they won't fall that far. I don't see them falling that far. But could we do things to encourage it? Sure, we could. The federal government had a chance to really attack crazy development fees to build new homes. Development fees to build new homes, and a lot of cities run it 3,600% more than they were 20 years ago. They're all huge numbers. They certainly, in 1985, development fees were like $3,000, okay, $2,500, depending on the city. Now they're like $250,000. Like even a condo is like over $100,000, a tiny condo. So yeah, you could do that. The government did wisely remove the GST on new construction, but we'd have to go so much farther. We'd have to open up so much land to build. People wonder why there's some family-sized properties available in Alberta and on the prairies. It's because they just keep using up land. They don't restrict the land. They don't put a moat around the land. They don't make land incredibly impossible to start. They don't need 4 years of planning before you can even open up a subdivision. They don't do any of those things. They make it easy. We don't make it easy in BC. We don't make it easy in Ontario. You don't need 22 reports to start thinking about whether you can get permission to build a subdivision like we do in Ontario, like we do in British Columbia, okay? The federal government, other than taking away the GST, did nothing to impact on these things. So, yes, we could do things. Are we doing them? No. Is it important to maintain a rational amount of family space where families where you can have a family, where you'd be comfortable in the home, where it would be reasonably affordable? No, we don't. And the government does not emphasize it. That is clear. So, is it hopeless? As it sits right now, yeah, there'll be smaller and smaller families and fewer families. That's just the way it's going to go.
My gosh, guys. And just coming off of Daniel's population or birth rate decline video in Canada with this, like, it's so obvious. Like, Canadians can't raise children in dog crate condos. I think I'm going to make that the title of this video. Canadians can't raise children in dog crate condos. Reacting to Angry Mortgage podcast. Like, for me, guys, like, as an AI person looking at the future landscape, I think to myself, like, I want to have kids. I want to have a relatively big family, maybe like 2 little girls and a boy. That'd be ideal for me. It's funny because usually everyone wants sons. I want to have 2 little girls so I can feel what it's like to have like genuine, unconditional love from a woman. So for me, that's super important. But for Canadians just to like form a sentiment, get a sentiment to want to have kids and start a family, you don't really get those types of feelings when you're sitting in a box in a condo. I can tell you, you start to get those feelings when you're in a big house. When you're in a big house with a lot of space, a lot of different rooms, people want to breed. Not so much in condos. So, I'll give it up to the Angry Mortgage podcast team, Ron Butler. Um, you guys are, you're talking about the things that Canadians should be talking about, because if we don't start to encourage building family units in this country, we're going to have just a country of dilapidated adults who've been burnt out, living in their dog crate condos. So, if you guys like this type of conversation, you want to have shit, you want to have more conversations like this, hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to try our, oh my God, which phone are we talking about here? We're going to try and get more conversations like this into the airwaves on YouTube from Canadians. I feel like it's important that Canadians listen to Canadians on the ground floor when it comes to Canadian issues. But also, we just want to spread the idea that, we're in this situation because of a lot of bad policy, a lot of bad decisions in business. Let's try and figure out how to do things better. Let's start using technology, guys. Technology, as much as we're in a bad place now, it can really help drag you to a place where you can start to do things meaningfully. Go to chatgpt.com right now, trauma up your life, see what you can do. If you want to have a more meaningful conversation about AI, go to peakdemand.ca, talk to us, no problem. I'm really looking forward to more of these videos from the Angry Mortgage podcast from Ron, Daniel Falk. These guys make some really good content, and I encourage everyone to follow them. Encourage them to make more content, because it's important that Canadians, like, we're trying into this stuff. This is affecting our country. It's affecting our lives. Looking forward to the next one. Bye now.